again accuses me of saying things that other people said, and not things I actually said, followed by him making a completely ridiculous argument about obesity. And I say this argument from Noah is ridiculous because Alyssa spends the whole video suggesting that being fat is not unhealthy, and she says this.
Here I am, at the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life, categorically overweight and well within middle school mocking range. But also the healthiest I've ever been, according to multiple doctors.
She also calls a 300-pound woman who has no training in fitness or medical sciences a health expert and suggests to her fans that they take her advice. But if that's not enough, then Noah, surely you watched my video on the mass flagging, right? Well, if you watched it, then you couldn't have missed the entire 10-minute segment where I go over a very long-winded New Year's Eve post from Alyssa where she basically is telling a follower of hers that obesity doesn't cause health problems and doesn't lead to things like osteoarthritis, despite showing an article that says it does. And if this is still not enough, then you can watch her video about 10 seconds from the point that you clipped, where she says being fat does not make you less healthy.
Being fat doesn't automatically mean someone is less healthy.
If they are 300 pounds like Aubrey Gordon, then it does. I had no idea that someone could be this bad at his job. Not only that, but you yourself, Noah, have argued that morbid obesity is not unhealthy, and I put that moment in my videos on Alyssa. Here it is again, a moment where Noah says that a woman who is at least 250 pounds from the Dove Real Virtual Beauty ad is not unhealthy. In fact, Noah has said that being morbidly obese is not unhealthy multiple times.
There's nothing in any of these videos that contradicts the notion of living healthy. You're ascribing that to them because of their fatness.
So with all that in context, why in the hell would I assume that Alyssa was considering obese people to be in need of dietary restrictions for health reasons? She spends the whole video telling people to not make dietary restrictions because of their weight. That was a major theme of her video. I genuinely do not know why Noah would make this argument. His content must almost entirely bank on the fact that nobody watches the source material and calls him out and making terrible arguments. He must also bank on his audience not calling him out for ignoring critics when they point this stuff out. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, stuff like this is why I said that I can't believe that Noah hit the upload button on this video. It makes him look so bad in front of people who are paying attention. Let's continue with Noah's second argument on this moment.
This response here from both audiences and creators relies on Sean's framing of Illy's words, that they were intended as dieting advice. But the thing is, they weren't. Her video is a direct critique of diet culture and its morality-based food logic. Immediately before the good and bad foods clip, Illy introduces a concept called body neutrality, which advocates for removing the moral element from how we view our bodies. She then states that she is about to apply that concept to food. So, given the actual content of her video and the direct link she'd just drawn from moral neutrality to food, when she finally actually says these lines, her intent could not be more clear. She's talking about morality. She's saying that eating carrots doesn't make you a good person, just like eating chocolate doesn't make you a bad person. By presenting only the tail end of this sequence and neglecting to accurately portray the central themes of her entire video, Sean has removed it from all context. The result is that he's framed her as both an idiot that can't do basic math about calories, and more seriously, a dangerous person whose dieting advice will end up with people dead.
Okay, so now, Mr. I had no idea that this title would cause viewers to think that you doxed somebody, get super analytical, and can see all of the under-the-surface meanings of Alyssa's arguments. You see, in this moment, she talks about apples, and now she's talking about chocolate, and it's all the moral weight of the food. For one, those arguments are so far apart in the video that nobody who doesn't have the same food experience as Alyssa is going to see it like that. This could have easily been cleared up if Alyssa just said that there is no difference between a carrot and a chocolate bar morally. But okay, let's play along and say that she was talking about the moral weight of each item. It's still a dumb statement, and I actually addressed that argument twice in the follow-up videos and showed research for why it's dumb in relation to things that Alyssa says she cares about. A ton of plastic waste comes from the processed food industry, and people who binge eat all the time are creating a lot of unnecessary waste that is harming the planet. Eating yourself into obesity does have a moral weight. Every addiction does, and I can't stand it when people say ridiculous stuff like, it doesn't matter if I'm drunk all day, I'm just doing it to myself. It doesn't affect anyone else. Yes, it does. Addicts almost always render themselves incapable of taking care of themselves and can only continue the addiction because they are emotionally manipulating people into helping them. If you're drunk all the time, how do you get around? Are you driving while you're intoxicated? Are you going to work intoxicated and causing causing people to have to pick up after you. Also, we live in a society, and thanks to Noah turning over a new leaf and admitting that obesity is unhealthy, we can now talk about health insurance. America is like this hybrid system that is half socialist, half not, which basically just screws everyone over in terms of cost. So when it comes to having a lot of obese people, and because obese people have many expensive preventable health problems, everyone's insurance premiums go up to cover the cost, and our taxes go up to pay for this as well. Second, a big problem with heavy patients in hospitals is that they're too big for standard beds, so they have to use something like a KCI bed, which costs like 10 times the price of a normal hospital bed. And these days, I think those beds are actually now too small. Third, 600-plus pound patients are way more difficult to move, and like I said in the mass flagging video, my mom is a nurse, and I can't tell you how many times she's been injured from moving a morbidly obese patient. She actually has a permanent rotator cuff injury because of it. These are just a couple of reasons, but yes, there is a moral difference between someone who takes care of their health and someone who doesn't. Okay, so we have one more out-of-context argument that Noah makes, and this is probably the most nonsensical one.
Or how the photo he used to insult her fashion sense by saying she dresses like a homeless person was taken while she was hiking, and Sean knew that, but cropped out the identifying information so that his audience wouldn't.
First off, it's not homeless, it's unhoused person.
Unhoused person.
Second, why does this context matter? She can wear better hiking clothes. It's cold where she is, which gives her a chance to layer different textures and colors, as well as accessorize. It's much easier to have good fashion when it's cold. Third, walking doesn't really require an extensive range of motion, so she's not that limited on clothing options. I really just don't see how noting that she was hiking changes anything, particularly when the reason that this all caught my attention is because Alyssa says in her videos, "Why don't I look like a supermodel or a female actress?" And the answer to that is because she doesn't put nearly as much effort into her stylistic choices as they do. Thus, the commentary on the hiking photo. I also don't see why the cropped photo is the one that's suddenly important, because most of my commentary about her bad fashion sense was related to that dress that she wore for the Streamies. So I can't figure out why this particular photo was focused on, other than the fact that some minor unimportant context was cut, which allows Noah to blow it way out of proportion and score points with his audience.
I don't think that like Sean sat here and is like, I know that she doesn't have like a big, I don't think he was like, oh, I know what she's saying, but I'm gonna take her out of context. I don't think that that's what I don't think that that's what happened there. I think that and I just want to be very clear. I don't think that he made his video to be malicious or anything, as Noah's video kind of claims.
Also, most people in my audience are either playing a video game or driving or watching my video
I'm literally playing a
so
video
even
game.
if I didn't crop the photo, almost nobody would have seen the location information. And even if they were directly looking at the whole Instagram post and fully paying attention, most people are going to be psychologically drawn to looking at the photo and not the tiny piece of information that says where she was. You're talking about maybe less than 1% of the audience who would have noticed it. Second, this location data, Big Bear Lake, nobody knows where that is. 90% of my audience doesn't live in California, so they aren't going to recognize that Big Bear Mountain has a lot of hiking trails, and certainly, nobody's going to sit there and Google the location. She could have just as easily been fishing based on that location data. As you said, a person would be far more likely to perceive that she is hiking from the picture than they would from her location data.
The less perceptive ones, anyway, given that she's, sitting on a log in dirt.
Noah, this hiking situation is a massive stretch. So you have moments like this, and then you do things like stupidly center your video around a roundabout way of accusing me of harassment and threats that would also make you guilty of harassment and threats. Going back to that situation with Vosh, I really think you've learned nothing from the experience, because I went back and watched that whole debacle, and you're making the exact same mistakes that you made 2 years ago.
But knowing that, and including that to provide a full context for the argument, would require research, which I know Noah Samson doesn't do, because he accused me of searching for an indigenous activist to bring on to own Professor Flowers after the conversation with her, when in the conversation with the indigenous activist, it was twice brought up that she emailed me. This is from that video.
And then using indigenous talking points to try and justify your own ends. I really had a problem with that. That was the point where I was like yelling at the TV while I was watching it, and I went and grabbed my laptop and emailed you. I was like, no, this needs to get sorted out. This can't happen.
Clear as day. Noah Samsen never actually watched the conversation.
I mean, these should be embarrassing screw-ups that you're jumping to avoid, yet you've made them every single time you've reacted to a video of mine.
Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? Do you understand the differences between how this is and how Sean's video was? Because it's like night and day. In fact, I would say that Noah Samsen's video actually has more in common with what I do than with what Sean does. Because Noah Samsen delivers arguments with the level of coherence and precision that I would expect from somebody live reacting to content, not from a person capable of editing and script writing. Whereas Sean's videos, for the most part, are airtight and incredibly comprehensive.
I hate to say this, but I agree with Vosh. You have all the benefit of pre-watching, background research, outlining, scripting, editing, and proof-watching the final cut, yet you are so bad at research and forming your points that someone who is live reacting to content they haven't seen before can do a better job at making a more charitable and succinct argument. That should be embarrassing. Anyway, why did I crop that photo? Honestly, I don't remember. It was either so the picture would appear bigger on screen, or most likely, it's because I didn't want to have to take the time to censor everyone's Instagram ads in the comments. Cropping the photo is much easier. Now, you might notice that this other photo here from that video was also taken from her Instagram, and look, the comments are cropped out. That must have been malicious. How dare Sean not give the context that this photo was uploaded on a Thursday? That changes everything. Really? In this next section, Noah really tries to do what I can't describe as anything other than lie to his audience about how YouTube works. A part of the premise of his video is that mean comments from viewers is something that only my audience does. Only the most radical YouTubers have audiences like this. No, it's not something that happens with every YouTube audience, including Noah's. Only audiences that Noah doesn't like do this. To further establish this, he interviews two other creators that I've done videos on, Nicole Raffi and Tiffany Ferguson.
I spoke with some other YouTubers that Sean has made these sorts of unsolicited response videos about, and to this question of why not hear them out and respond, they all said basically the same thing, which was, why the hell would I do that?
I didn't say anybody had to respond to my videos. In fact, outside of this one, the only suggestion that I made to Alyssa was to ignore the video. That's generally my recommendation, unless you think your audience would be interested in a response. Otherwise, it's not worth the effort, especially if you script videos like Alyssa. Scripted responses are a lot of work.
This is Nicole Raffi. Sean made a video about her called Feminism is Brainwashing Women to Like Feminine Men. Oh man, it's just so fun. When I asked about that video, this was her first message. Hey, oh my god, that guy stinks. That can go on the record that I said that.
Brother, this guy stinks!
He's made 2 videos about me now, I think, and each time it just brings an influx of sexist and radically far-right men to start picking apart not even the content that I make, but my looks, my voice, basically everything that does not matter. They also tend to not watch my videos and base their opinions off the title itself.
Gee, Noah, I sure hope you've never been caught like a bunch of times basing your opinion on a video from only reading the title, because that would really make you look like a hypocrite.
So, very ill-informed community, I gotta say. It's been a hot minute since I watched the video he made about me, but I just remember thinking that he's jumping through hoops looking for a reason to be upset with what I'm saying. What he and his community do is essentially the equivalent of a Reddit snark page, and then the creator has to face an increase in video dislikes, hate comments, threatening DMs, until Sean makes a video on the next person.
So I went back and watched that video, and I have to say I was ridiculously fair in it compared to anything that I've seen Noah release. I'm not kidding. Go and watch that video. I steel man her arguments, I bring up stupid arguments from her opponents, I compliment her for good points, and I compliment her as a person. By comparison, I honestly don't think I've ever seen Noah compliment an opponent or point out something that they've done right, and if he has done it, it's certainly rare, and he certainly hasn't said anything good about me, despite the fact that I've said good things about him in every video response I've made. It's really ironic that Noah, someone who is never charitable to his opponents, would accuse other people of villainizing. So if Noah is agreeing that this video was egregiously unfair to Nicole, then he either didn't watch it, which, by the way, is common practice for him to not fact-check, or he basically is saying that all criticism is misogyny or whatever. I'm also going to press X to doubt on Nicole receiving threatening DMs. That is a big accusation, and Noah has shown no proof of this. Outside of that, is Nicole describing Noah here? Because that's exactly what people in his audience do. We know that Noah likes to spend time in people's comment sections. This is a common format tactic for him, by the way. But since Noah is so good at investigative work, I'm sure he knows how to sort comments by newest first, so he must have seen a bunch of his followers brigading my chat and insulting me after they watched his video. He's trying to act like this is something unique to my channel, with Nicole's overly dramatic until he moves on to the next victim line. Guys, it's every channel. Everyone's following does this. What are we supposed to do? Not criticize things or make commentary videos? I don't like comment brigading. I'm sure the vast majority of creators don't want their audience doing it either. I've stated multiple times in videos that people shouldn't do it, and I've shamed people for doing it. I've even given people such as Alyssa my full-on public approval to delete comments, ban words, mute people, and pause their comment section, despite it being an action that is traditionally made fun of. But like I said, no amount of YouTubers expressing their dislike for brigading will stop people from doing it. Though you know what would put a huge dent in it? YouTube spending 5 seconds coding a subscriber-only mode for comment sections.
Another creator, Tiffany Ferguson, whose video Mr. Beast's Philanthropy Will Not Save the World was responded to by Sean with his piece complaining about capitalism while being a capitalist. Got her ass. Ooh. Yep. Hassan House. Bad. Tiffany also clocked Sean's criticism as being just a trap.
If I did actually get any backlash from his audience, I literally did not see it or hear it, so I guess it's a good thing. It obviously seems like if you respond and try to, react in any way, that seems to backfire for a lot of these creators, as he's talking about, because it encourages him to continue.
I think anyone expecting otherwise just doesn't know what it's like to be a content creator and have this happen to you, especially when the creators in question do not make response videos.
Yeah, no, it's not that big of a deal. Just don't read your comment section for 2 or 3 days, maybe mute things, and everything will be fine. However, I love that last part where Tiffany said, yeah, I didn't really receive any hate comments from his viewers. Nice way to prove your point, Noah. Though I imagine that Tiffany gets less criticism in general, because unlike a lot of people, she actually does research for her videos. I also love the argument of, Sean made these videos about these innocent YouTubers unprovoked. Did you watch the video that I made on Tiffany Ferguson? She made a video attacking Mr. Beast unprovoked. He didn't deserve that. Mr. Beast is just an innocent family channel who wants no part in politics, and he doesn't do response videos. By the way, Nicole Raffi does these kinds of videos too. Here's one about Drake, who has done some really suspicious stuff, but did she ask Drake if she could make that video about him? Did Drake provoke her by making a rap song about her? So do we really want to play this game where you're only allowed to make videos on other public figures if they give you consent? Do you think Illuminati or James Somerton would have consented to the videos made on them? Hell no, you struck first and made a video on me unprovoked. How is that fair? I didn't ask you to react to my channel. I'm a victim. I'm just kidding. This line of argumentation is stupid, and if you can't handle people reacting to your content, then you shouldn't make YouTube videos. Okay, we're making progress. We're like halfway through Noah's video. Fortunately, about 25 minutes of the second half is mindless filler content that is completely irrelevant to the main topic, and it seems like this section of the video was merely there to paint me as a transphobe, paint me as a racist.
God help you if you're a white guy who says anything that Noah Samson doesn't like, or you're about to be painted as a racist in the next 80-minute long video.
And get jealous over how well my videos perform.
Title, thumbnail, upload, and 730. Jesus fucking Christ.
What I think Noah was trying to do here was display that he learned very slightly from his past mistakes of making a scripted video on somebody without actually watching their content. I guess that's good. I guess that's progress. We now have a Noah Samson who believes that resources should be cited.
Now, let me be clear on this point. Let me be clear. Sources should be fully cited.
And we have a Noah Samson who actually watches content before he says he knows what's in it. So good. Maybe after like 20 of these Noah reactions, we'll finally turn him into a good journalist. However, what appears to have happened is that Noah got information overload from watching too many videos, had a lot of things he wanted to react to, and he could not pick and choose which ones were relevant to the story, so he ended up just vomiting them everywhere in the second half of the video, as he tries to make a 25-minute tangent relevant to his main argument. That being said, I'm mostly going to skip over this part, though just to note how much Noah removes context and basically addresses 0 difficult points, I want to show 2 clips from this section. Here's the first.
Later, he heavily implies that the drag community is full of pedophiles due to the material they promote.
Well, considering the material, the people who have that take probably need to spend some time behind bars.
The material in question here, the stuff he shows right before that statement, is clips of the kid just kind of flipping around on stage, goofing around. It sounds like he's seeing something in these clips that I'm just not seeing.
Now, dismissing the complete irony of Noah being on the side side of the LGBT issue that constantly says that kids are going to die if you don't affirm their gender.
This is a real thing that is happening on the 3rd of June. What this dictates is that now it's officially going to be completely illegal for under 18s to have access to gender-affirming care. So anyway, a bunch of kids are going to die.
Where's the evidence of that? It's shocking that I've heard this line for like 10 years, yet it's pretty much never accompanied by actual research. Oh wait, my bad. That was someone else saying it. Well, I wouldn't want to be like Noah, so here's him saying the thing that I accused him of believing.
The most frustrating part about this whole thing is that all of the evidence shows that actually listening to your kids if they experience gender dysphoria at a young age significantly reduces the likelihood of mental health issues and suicide. Family rejection nearly doubles the likelihood that a transgender youth will attempt suicide. Gender-affirming care works. That's why it's recommended by nearly all psychological and medical associations. So when people like these freaks want to make money by lying and scaring people, the results of which include state laws that literally ban trans healthcare for kids, this is a very, very, very bad thing. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that it kills people.
I'm surprised he actually showed data, but just to clarify, this is not research. These are random numbers on a website with no context for how they got them, and the names of a bunch of organizations that agree. That's not evidence. Now, Noah is illiterate, and this video was made before he got embarrassed last year, so I know he didn't read it, but the actual study isn't any better. One, it was an online self-reported survey, so how did they verify the people were who they said they were? Two, no kids were in the study, so you can't make any claims on kids based on this data. And three, active drug users, people who were engaged in sex work, and recently homeless people were actually more likely to make attempts on their own lives than people who are not affirmed. So was it the drugs, or was it the wrong pronouns at Thanksgiving? We don't know, because as far as I can see, questions that would give you that kind of information were not asked. Sorry, what a tangent after I complained about tangents. So let's dismiss the irony of Noah being on this side of the argument, despite that he said that it was wrong for me to bring up the fact that certain behavior can cause harm to children. But as I said in the Ethan is Online video, people like Noah always play this stupid game of, why is it bad? It's just a kid in a dress. When that's obviously not what I was talking about. When I made that claim, I was talking about images like this one that clearly display children in an inappropriate environment, and I showed this picture before the part that Noah clipped. These people also like to ignore the same criminal behavior from people like Kevels or Eli Ehrlich. That's the stuff I'm talking about, and I've yet to see any of these people, such as Noah, address it. Alright, the second moment where Noah removes a ton of context so he can strawman me is this one here.
When a contestant in a cut game show is asked why he's unemployed, he responds by saying that the jobs he's applied for have said he's unqualified because he's black. This is how Sean responds to that statement.
What? That is literally illegal, and it's been illegal for over half a century. If what Chris said was actually true, then lawyers would be jumping to help him sue those companies on contingency, and he'd be a millionaire right now.
The old standby, racism is illegal, checkmate racism. When Sean hears this statement, he reverts to the assumption that the hiring discrimination which took place must have happened at the individual level, as in this person must have been directly discriminated against. Now, we don't know the exact details of this cut contestant's situation. However, Sean's assumption that it couldn't have happened because this kind of racism is illegal is very telling. Regardless, his instinctual jump to assume that this person is lying is a product of, among other things, a lack of any sort of systemic framework for understanding racism.
I'm not going to rehash all this. You can just go watch the video for all the evidence. But I don't know how Noah could watch this and ignore all the parts that show that this guy Chris is an extreme racist who uses every excuse to justify not working. And by extreme racist, I mean that his husband's social media ad was slang for white people hate, and Chris also has a social media ad using the same racial slur for white people. Honestly, I'm surprised that divorce court aired racist usernames. There was also a video that I believe has been deleted on his YouTube channel about how he and his husband like to start drama with white people because they don't like him. And him and his husband are famous on Know Your Meme for basically Jussie Smollett-type race scripting for clout. Except for that last part, all this stuff was there in the video via pinned comment. So Noah ignores the mountain of evidence that this guy's account of the events is not trustworthy and follows that up with a study that basically called half of America far right. I don't know what that had to do with the research, but he shows this number saying that black people get called back 50% less on average, which is certainly a number, congrats, except this number says nothing about why they weren't called back, which makes it useless to Noah's overall point. If you can't give evidence for why they're not being called back, then you can't claim this as evidence of racism. All right, let's get back to Alyssa. Here Noah talks about diet culture.
When Illy cites an article from Self magazine in order to define the concept of diet culture, Sean criticizes her for using this source in a way that just doesn't make any sense.
Oh God, please someone tell this girl that quoting a magazine article is not research. Stop acting like it is. That's like saying, according to my friend Rachel, dieting is bad.
So, like, she was defining a term. She cited the magazine for the definition of a term. She wasn't using a statistic or even making an argument. You don't need a scientific study every time you want to do that. The article's author cites a health services journal to define a term.
Then in Aubrey's article, she says another opinion for arguments. Do any of these people use actual science to form their beliefs?
If you notice, once again, this source is being used to define a word. She's not citing it as a statistic. It's a word.
Except that's not what they're doing. They're using this term to claim that dieting is bad, and in Alyssa's case, that all dieting is dangerous or harmful, which is a statement that requires evidence, and the evidence that they're citing is their friends defining a word. I pointed this out because it's a very common news tactic to link to articles that your friends wrote to get people to agree through social proofing techniques, instead of using actual data or doing your own research, which takes effort. I believe you even pointed out similar frustrations in your video.
Interestingly, Sean doesn't cite the rule that she allegedly broke here, which is why no one else cited it either. They get all of their information from each other's videos and nothing more.
Right, so we agree that this strategy is bad and people shouldn't do that. But the stuff about diet culture is not a simple definition. They are trying to use it to say that dieting is bad without defining what a diet is. Is a diet a small calorie deficit and weight loss of 1 to 2 pounds a week? Or is it crash dieting? So they give what you call the definition, and they moralize it in the following paragraph by saying, what's worse? You can't say these things are bad without evidence, and they actually shame good behaviors in the first paragraph by suggesting that limiting sugar is bad. It's not bad. Processed sugar is not good for you. Let's do one more research gem from Noah.
The other big dumb woke research critique comes earlier in his video. Illy cites a statistic about teenage dieting. In response, Sean finds a study on the topic and then criticizes Illy for that study, even though he isn't even sure if that's the study she used.
So I looked up where Alyssa got the quote, to which she did not properly cite, so maybe this is the correct source?
So his conclusion there, that she needs to fire her researchers, was reached with criticisms of a study that might not have been hers.
What? Didn't you call me lazy for not Googling a Dove study for a video of mine last year?
First off, Think Before You Sleep makes the argument that Dove is a lazy company because they show a statistic on the screen that he doesn't believe is true.
Okay, I don't believe that statistic at all. Where did you get that number?
So this is the Opinium Women in Gaming survey from early 2021. All he had to do was a single Google search with some relevant terms to find this survey. It took me 10 seconds. It's really not that much work, but he didn't do it.
By the way, that was the wrong study for those of you who aren't caught up on the drama. So I'm lazy if I don't try to find Dove's study that they didn't cite, but if I do try to find Alyssa's study, I'm irresponsible. It seems like a battle I can't win. How did I know it was the right study? I love how he's trying to take his
I wish she was studied, she was cited, and when she was
and use that against me. Are you actually going to admit to your audience that you messed up by saying the Opinium study was the study that Dove was referencing, when in reality it wasn't? Now the difference here, Noah, is that I didn't proclaim that I found the right study like you did. I said I might have the right study. The second big difference is that I actually pulled the exact text from her statement and found it in the study. Here it is. These are the exact words that she used in her video, and it's in the study that I criticized. Literally the exact wording and grammar, as if it was copied and pasted. Are we really going here? You, Noah, on the other hand, chose numbers from the Opinion study that did not match what Dove said, and claimed they were the numbers from Dove. Also, I love how he tries to make Alyssa not citing her source my fault. How is it my fault if your friend technically commits plagiarism from an academic standpoint and doesn't know how to cite research? She has 2.5 million followers and gets millions of views on her videos. With an audience that size, she has the moral obligation to be transparent about where she gets her data. But Noah, if you really are unsure if I got the right study, then why didn't you ask her if I got the correct study or not? Aren't you guys friends?
That being said, though, if Sean's criticism had been limited to just that she should have provided a direct link to her statistics, that'd be okay. But that's not what he did. What he did was pull up what amounts to a random study, imply that it was her research, tear the study to shreds, because it was a bad study, and then scoop up that unidentified shredded paper off the ground in order to call her a dumbass.
But it wasn't a random study. It was a study that included the exact wording that she used in her video. Though if she wants to clear all this up, she could just, cite the study in the description of her video. It would take 2 seconds to do that. I mean, I must have gotten the right one, because you better believe that Noah would have used that as a chance to dunk on me if I wasn't correct. This has to be one of the most dishonest tactics that I've seen Noah use to try to get the upper hand on an opponent, especially when all he had to do was text Alyssa to see if it was correct or not. But he knows I got the right one, which is why he's playing this bullshit game to try to discredit me. Why do people trust this guy? Anyway, back to the data.
And also, even if you just criticize her incomplete citation, that'd still be a nitpicky kind of critique, because finding actual good data with the information she provided was extremely not hard.
So now we're back to saying that I should Google other people's studies for them, just not that study because you don't like it? I'm confused. It sounds like you're saying, Google studies for my friends when they fail to cite them, but if those studies make them look bad, then those are the wrong studies. Is that what I'm being told to do?
When you search teenage dieting in the National Library of Medicine, which is what was in her video, the shitty study that Sean found was the first result.
You mean the shitty study that was probably the actual study that Alyssa used? The fact that you keep pressing into this when it would have been so easy for you to just ask her if it was correct or not really makes you look dishonest. Let's continue.
The next one, like the very next one, is a far more substantive paper with a bunch of working citations and evidence that Illy's statistics were accurate.
This study is too old.
And if Sean doesn't like this one either because it's too old, well, here's a newer one with the same numbers and some of them actually showing increases in these dieting rates.
Oh wow, you got me. Except that doesn't matter because this study has the exact same problems as the one from Alyssa's video. Problems that I believe I described when I reacted to it.
Despite Sean's lazy research and bad faith nitpicking, or because of it, I guess, he led viewers to the conclusion that she doesn't know what she's talking about, and then carried that conclusion over into his follow-up videos.
I like how Noah called me a bad faith lazy guy who takes people out of context, but then ignores the arguments that I made against that study in my initial video. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, it is shocking that Noah has the audacity to accuse me of taking things out of context, considering how much important context that he removes from the claims that he makes. I told you why I thought that study was bad in the original video. Instead of just saying I was wrong, why don't you respond to the arguments I initially gave, which were that they did not define what a diet is, they didn't define what a healthy weight was, and they didn't account for people who are dieting to be a more attractive weight while still being in a healthy range. Because of this, I don't know if they're saying that something like a 5'1" teenage girl dieting because she's 200 pounds is a problem. If that's the case, then provided that the girl is doing a safe caloric deficit, I would say that this is not a problem. This is a good thing. Now, if they're saying that a girl who is 5'1" and 90 pounds is dieting to lose weight, then I would say that is a problem. As far as I can see, though, this new study addresses none of this. The best it does is weight perception by BMI, and the most shocking result related to Alyssa's video is that 5 to 10% more teenage girls in 2015 said they thought they were a normal weight, even though they had an underweight BMI. Though I'm not sure how relevant these numbers would be today, because 2015 was before TikTok, and before fat acceptance became extremely popular, so you probably would need newer data for this. They also stated that people desiring to lose weight had more depressive symptoms, but none of this suggests that they are using unhealthy means to lose weight, nor does it say something like the underweight girls were still trying to diet. It sort of gives the perception that any attempt to lose weight is bad and indicative of a mental health issue, which is really a useless conclusion. I'm not sure what the purpose of these studies are, but as long as you aren't starving yourself or doing other unhealthy behaviors, the simple act of wanting to lose weight is not a problem provided that you are at a healthy body fat level. One last thing. Noah doesn't like my use of the term woke.
The last of these three fabricated narratives that I want to talk about today is the idea that Illy is woke. It stands to reason, then, that anyone that has been deemed woke is de facto bad. Thus, even the seemingly simple act of using that label on someone, as Sean did with Illy in his second video's title, is a form of guilt by association. It's psychological priming for the audience to come into the content with a less charitable attitude.
Noah, you do the exact same thing by labeling me as anti-woke, which is a trigger word for your audience because they already have preconceived ideas about that label. You literally titled the video "Anti-Woke Content is Trash," which preempts your audience to be less charitable and think I'm stupid or bad at making arguments, or you do it by putting vampire incel on your thumbnail, which in that case was funny, but don't gaslight people into thinking that you don't do this. How many projections is Noah going to put in this video?
If you're trying to change the definition of reactionary to focus on a group of people who disagree agree with you, so then you can use it as a slur against them, that's bad.
And I think that's bad.
But maybe he's not trying to use the word reactionary as a direct insult. I'm sure he doesn't use any other dog whistling tactics with other slurs.
Incels, reactionary garbage. Malding incels, red pill, black pill, incel rabbit hole.
Look, when you guys stop calling everyone an ist or a phobe or alt-right, I'll stop using the term woke. I really enjoy that Noah suggests that his team doesn't use catch-all terms as well. When I watched him call ABBA and Preach far-right, which is funny because ABBA and Preach align with the left, especially when it comes to issues such as systemic racism. So I'm not going to stop using the term. I told you what I meant when I used the term woke, which is for radical leftists and people who promote communist demoralization tactics like the Fat Acceptance movement does. Alyssa is definitely a radical leftist, and she definitely is very political. Stop saying she's not political. She inserts politics into her videos all the time. Here's an example of that.
And so, if wearing "I'm not like other girls" as a badge of honor is the only way to make your autistic self more likable in middle school, you're probably going to go down that route. But hopefully, when you and the other girls get older, you'll all realize internalized misogyny is just a feature of white supremacist and patriarchal ideologies that hinder us from attaining self-actualization and true equality.
Let me just say that if you're a normie and you're making a video about autistic dating, it would not occur to you to randomly insert a very politically charged statement like this about racial identity politics. Racial identity politics are tactics that groups like the Marxists and the Nazis use to radicalize people and obtain power, which is why I don't like them. To further show her politics, Alyssa has no problem retweeting Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She has no problem posting a watermelon in her profile, which is like the pro-Palestine version of the Ukraine flag, and she has no problem posting her thoughts about abortion and saying that she won't go to Chick-fil-A because they are pro-life.
Anyway, a little while after that, a new restaurant opened up in the area, and it was called Chick-fil-A. This was before we knew they donated to anti organizations. So we don't go there anymore.
Actually, she has no problem lying about abortion to fearmonger her audience in a video like this one.
So I gained another fear that this procedure would not happen, that my doctors would be arrested, and that I would die. Wait a minute. You said you had an abortion. But you didn't. Well, technically, according to the law, I did. Since the Supreme Court eliminated the federal right to an abortion and has now left it up to each individual state to decide, the procedure performed on my body, a procedure that removes unwanted tissue from inside the uterus, in some states, by law, is now considered an abortion. God forbid you miscarry and the unviable fetus is killing you from the inside out, you would also need a D&C. But the law would say, ooh, sorry, that's an abortion, and we can't allow that.
Now, I'm not a lawyer, but Alyssa, you lived in California at the time. Abortion is legal there, and overturning Roe v. Wade did not change that. Also, the whole twist of this video was that she didn't actually get an abortion. She got a procedure that is like an abortion. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but as far as I can tell, this procedure is probably legal in Texas and Alabama, which are two states that she specifically mentions in the video. Both these states allow the kind of procedure that she got if there is risk of death or injury to the mother. And I have a hard time believing that they would deny her this medical treatment, considering that she wasn't pregnant and there was no life or potential life in question. So it sounds a lot like this video was just straight up misinformation. It's about as dishonest as the right suggesting that every abortion is done with a vacuum, when the reality is that half of them are done through a pill. For the purposes of this video, I don't care what side of the issue that you're on, but let's at least be honest with what we're dealing with. My apologies. I said this video wouldn't be too much about Alyssa, but I don't appreciate Noah yet again lying to his audience because he knows Alyssa, and Alyssa was quite possibly the least quiet person about her politics until about the year 2022. And even now, she's not that quiet about it, so I imagine that you guys have spoken about politics before. The whole notion that I'm fabricating all this is just ridiculous. There is so much evidence of everything that I've stated in the video that you would have to be willfully ignorant to not see it, or just have no knowledge of how YouTube works, especially with the mass flagging thing. People always make a big deal about that, even if it's a single video. Remember when Alinity threatened to copy strike PewDiePie?
Oh, it's almost like people can actually afford the chair, and you're just a crybaby.
Seriously? He just said that? I'm gonna copy strike this guy.
Yo! Can we copy strike PewDiePie's latest video? Like right now?
This was a huge event, and it was about a single video. You would have to not use YouTube to be ignorant of this. Anyway, as I said in this post responding to Turkey Tom, I would like all this drama to be over with. In fact, it was over with until Noah butted his way in. Like I said, I would not have responded to this video if Noah didn't basically accuse me of criminal behavior and essentially push his audience to flag my videos. However, seeing that I've now had the chance to defend myself, how about we all just stop? Because what's going to come out of continuing this? I know that Noah is just going to continue to gaslight his audience about how he didn't use some roundabout logic to accuse me of doxing, and I know he's not going to address major arguments that make him look bad. I know that because he already did that with the Dove video. It's been almost a year, and he still refuses to admit that he lied to his audience about not reading studies before he posted them as evidence of his arguments. Noah has been caught red-handed multiple times doing a bunch of dishonest stuff, and every time people bring attention to it, he just ignores the criticism, sweeps it under the rug, and refuses to engage with the opposition.
This guy is probably still recovering from injuries that he received from Vosh in a debate like 3 years ago.
They had a debate?
Yes, and he got so eviscerated after that debate, he said he would never have a debate again. It was brutal. I had to pause the fucking stream on YouTube because I could not watch.
What was the subject of the debate?
He made a whole hit piece video on Vosh about how horrible Vosh was, but Vosh was like, oh, we should chat about it. And then in the actual combo, he had like nothing to say. It was just like, it was horrible.
Right. He's not kidding. That debate was brutal. Turkey Tom even gave Noah the chance to talk to me on stream, but he refused. Now, I will give the caveat that I had just woken up during that invite and said maybe later or maybe some other time, but Noah almost immediately refused the request with no possible follow-up, and unless he was watching the stream, he did that without seeing my refusal, which says to me that he knows what he did, and he wants to keep this to a video battle because it prevents him from being directly called out on stuff. Personally, unless Noah wants to talk it out in a live chat, a place where he can't avoid difficult topics, I really have very little interest in continuing the conversation. He can do what he wants, but honestly, if he's not going to engage with any difficult points, and if he's just going to continue to hide behind scripting and framing, then how about we just let all this go and move on to something else? Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
Wow, it's actually over.
So chat, if you're not in the Discord,
Crown Shield Jungle Guard. So it can't get status. Yeah, and the thing is, in this game, they gave it cosmic.
How did he not people? Is that you, Cam?
It low-key 1v1 the shit out of people.
Good night, that shit. Let's see if we can beat Big Mom.
I don't think I need Tailwind. I want to make this a win-1 demon.
Hello, Beijing. Oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. What am I supposed to do? Categories here. Run. Get out the way. Categories here.
This thing is actually crazy. I'm about to show y'all.
What the heck?
Wait, this guy is a 6-0 monster, bro.
That elimination drama is so funny. What's wrong with those people? They're radicals. Fiji! Oh my gosh. My boys. That's my Jubilee. Penrose panels is here. I need teammates, but let's go, lady. That's Big Mom. Don't go up.
Give this thing a leftovers, and look at it right now. And then we just go max HP. Yo, low-key, max speed does matter for this guy. Max
max HP, max speed, so I can set up amnesia in someone's face.
Actually, it's Carol's somebody help me.
I should be able to set up amnesia in someone's face. And then if I set up amnesia in someone's face,
Guys, get out, play.
I should be able to full tank. I want to try this out. Do we have any trainers? Let's try it out on a trainer, guys.
We gotta cut through big bombs, please. Who's holding?
Try against this guy.
Oh, leave. Oh, leave. This is ridiculous.
Air blower, nocturnal. Wait, this guy cannot kill me.
Everybody gotta go.
He cannot kill me, but it is
Sorry.
faster. There we go. Let's try and wait.
Sorry.
And now I amnesia. I think it makes you have that, yeah.
I'll go bad now that losers.
This is how we use this bad boy. Look at this. Wait. Wait, what?
Where is Luffy?
When you change forecast, you change abilities. And the water one, it has Punk Rock, so it takes less damage from Boom Burst, I guess. My Dauntless Shield!
I didn't rate these wings. Can't she pull out?
Not be on rain immediately, you know? It's okay. Because I get Dauntless Shield buff, and I should be okay from there, right?
I do that though.
Bad for this game in particular, though. Alright, I'm taking no damage now. See how this thing could be a demon, guys?
I'm a candy worm.
I'm now +6, Spadef. But this guy is physical, and I lost my Dauntless Shield. Solar Blade?
Yeah, keep me alone.
Cannot Solar Blade. Protect him? Oh, I trolled. Oh, I trolled. My bad. Okay. He's physical.
Noises are great. Yeah.
Steve, and then I T-wave him.
Doesn't concern me.
Steve just trolled me again. Wait, I'm still faster. Steve just trolled me again, but I am still faster. Holy shit. Okay, we gotta remove Psychic Terrain from Steve.
You gotta go.
Yo, what up, Rex? Welcome
You
in.
gotta
Rex,
go.
we actually have an encounter, I think, bro. Rex, you want him on, my boy? He killed me a drill pack. How fast is this? 210. 208. I go Curly, take the drill pack. Now I reflect. Nice. Oh,
A straight push.
nice. Wait, well, he's slower than me and I have opportunity, so I can just kill him here.
I think it's a straight push.
Let's get my boy Rexham on. It's up here somewhere, I think. Wait, do we have to go through May first? I'm gonna save in case I gotta go through May first.
I got a cool came out of nowhere. He can see the future. Ah!
No, we gotta go through May first. Alright, I'll get my boy Rex a water encounter then, bro. VGC Demon, of course. Of course.
Is that thing went by beating Big Mom? Maybe we go for a Big Mom.
Get permission. Thank you, Rex. Congratulations, Lunar. Congrats.
I can do it as Luffy. I don't think I can do it as Slime.
You get one reroll, my man. Let's clap up May. Should we actually? I want to get my boy Rex in the Alright, Rex, you gonna stick around after I clap up Ray? I mean, what I say, Ray? May? You know what? Let's clap up May. Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's clap up May.
Or big. No.
Alright. Clap her up. Alright, let's look up her team. May? What route is this?
It says, okay, what if I beating Big Mom? I wonder if Big Mom. My gear for Luffy is unbeatable.
Or Route 119? So this is Route 119.
Ooh.
Needs a air blower.
Why do y'all have the same level stats?
This is so insane. If I didn't have my boy Sly to kill him in one hit. I think I lead Sly and kill him in one hit. Alright, take out.
So what did we learn today?
I think it's dead to BP now. Nice.
You do not want to
Yeah, the stream's on during work. Oh,
talk about things you don't know.
wait, at work? You're working some demon hours too, Rex. What the hell?
Don't have an agenda.
Starmie comes out. Okay. Starmie comes out with a 580.
Be kind.
What the hell?
That's a good one.
And has mystic power and has analytic. And analytic does proc when you're.
Everybody's trying to be a hero.
I'm gonna fire Psy Shot guaranteed. I'm
You don't want to be a hero.
Nice. Does he know what I am? Okay, now
The best villains thought they were being heroes. You know? That's the ego.
doesn't matter if it has ice.
I know.
Because I'm focus sashed.
I'm gonna try to beat up Big Mom.
How comes out? This is mega.
Let's see how far we can get.
He OHKOs me a Draco meteor.
I'll replace Snake Hand. My bounce pad goes crazy.
I just Dragon Rage him. He can't kill me. He has skill link, but he has no motion.
Soldier.
Homie fired straight frenzy.
Those plans. What is this animal? The deep redux. I like traveling through the region and collecting my Pokemon. Like, I don't like the whole, just get Rick and just level up everything. Big Mom defeated, died.
I go Beezy, I heal up, I protect.
I'm going for Big Mom.
E-balls, interesting. E-ball.
I need more attack.
I don't think E-ball kills me. If
I
E-ball
just want
kills me,
attack.
I can leech seed him to death.
Uh-oh.
You ever see a leech seed Vaporeon, Rex? We got leech seed Vaporeon. Nice. He should lose from here now. Yep, you're gonna get out sustained. Even a crit doesn't kill me, I'm pretty sure. This is
How
why
expensive it is.
I can 1v1 someone and come out +6 on the other side.
Oh my god. Now I'm poor. I gotta go raid Big Mom's castle again.
Striker was gonna do wild charge. I'm almost certain he's not.
I'm gonna be the Pirate King.
Is it or high jump kick, either or? Does he have infiltrator or some shit?
Yeah, it's always this last move I'm not sure of. I do like I'm gonna be the Pirate King though.
Check the VOD. Oh, it was so fast it's hard to see.
I feel like I want a Gear 2 ability, and this is the closest thing to a Gear 2 ability.
Fuck, I didn't get to see it. It was so fast.
I can use you at both.
Assuming it's wild charge though. I'm gonna just assume it's wild charge. What are her last mons left? Mimikyu?
Maybe we just go Pirate King. Solve my spirit and walk concentration. Sure.
And it has Mimikyu as her last mon.
Me.
I reflect up.
Giant killer.
Static him too nice. I can just kill him here, but who do I want to 1v1 the Mimikyu? Probably want Sly to 1v1 the Mimikyu. No, I'm gonna just Psychic.
Concentrate.
He can hit me here and then I get out.
Wuss.
I lose my thing, man. Also, the messes up Eric 9, actually, funny enough. Lose my Dauntless Shield. I'll just priority Psychic here. Nice. I'm just afraid this guy's gonna set up on me. That's
Yes, bro.
He Oko's me a Shadow Claw, so he should not set up on me.
I know. I wanted to fight Big Mom.
He does not kill me with Play Rough, so he has the Shadow Claw. I'm gonna go Sly. Nice. Fake him out.
Where's Nami?
I might be able to kill him with BP here. Let's see. BP's an Oko. Come on, baby! No fucking casualties. Spiteful, spite the dick, my boy. Alright. No casualties, baby. Easy mode. Clean. Alright, we have a proper
That was supposed to be.
at route 1. Bro. I gotta get through this route first. Through here. I know this is. Oh, uh-oh. You're a ninja? Okay. Fake out. Bye-bye. I just took my boy Trainer out. Okay. This guy is Focus Sash, Dual Wing Beat. He still does not kill me. That's the craziest part. Facade Bullet Punch kills him. I'm gonna Facade Bullet Punch. That's how strong Sly is. Nice. Drapion comes out. I think Drapion is actually Dauntless Shield or something. What's Drapion gonna do to me? Cross Poison or Night Slash or some shit like that. I think I go Steve.
Okay, here.
I go Steve and then I T-Wave. Oh, I emergency exited.
Right.
Fine too.
I'm so confused.
Fine too, because now I can Earth Power, I think. He doesn't kill me with anything, I just Earth Power. Four Tree City? Four Tree City? Is there no encounter? Oh, the encounter is after this. Okay. Encounter's after this. Here we go. Flying Gym tomorrow. Route 120 for my boy Rex. Alright, Rex, you get one reroll, my man. Here we go. Let's see what you get, my boy. A Pumpkaboo. You want a Pumpkaboo or do you want a reroll, my man? And in this game, everyone comes with 4 abilities as well. You want a Pumpkaboo? I can't tell what size Pumpkaboo this is, but the only viable one is the big size. Right, come on, give me something good for my boy Rex here. Come on. Nope, that's the same guy. That's the same guy. That's the same guy. That's the same guy.
You're the noise that's up my game. I don't think my game audio is recording, is it? Or is broadcasting video thing?
Because this guy may or may not be.
I can't tell.
Say hot ass. Okay, let's
Pretty sure it's not.
We need some crazy abilities here on a Watchhog, bro. Or maybe they buff
here.
Alright, what ball would you like as well, bro? What ball would you like? The balls in this game are just for show. You can pick whatever one you want. What matches Watchhog? Maybe a repeat ball? Or, oh, a level ball kind of matches his color scheme? Movie. Movie done right there, bro. Watchhog. Repeat ball. Repeat ball kind of looks like it has his little eyes on it, you know?
Thank you are, buddy boy. Keep going, Jimmy. Okay, I'm listening.
Luxury ball is such a fan favorite, by the way. We call like 6 mons in a luxury ball now. Here we go, Rex. Okay. I need some crazy, I need huge sheer power. Fucking, like, jaw.
Yeah,
like, every crazy move you can think of, I need right now. Please tell me this thing at least learns,
leave Jefe alone.
It's salvageable. If it does not learn Fake Out, this thing is horrendous. Alright, let's go one by one. Let's go one by one here. Dreamcatcher. Double move. Anyone on the field is asleep. Let's see if we can get another one. Iron Ill Will.
Category is so cracked. Well, why is he so cracked?
No, not like this. Don't do that to my boy Rex. And then Furious Medicine or Medicine removes ally stat changes. What the fuck? Maybe this guy learns hypnosis? Fearmonger? Whoa!
Let me try one more.
That is a great
I
one.
think I can play better.
We're back. That's a great one. Intimidate plus Scare. Scare, by the way, is a special. 10%
Wedding cake?
Okay, we're back. Give me, come on, fake out. Fake out can para is crazy.
Wedding cake?
Whoa, we're back. Hyper aggressive. Moves hit twice. Second hit does 25. We're back. That's 2 chances to para too. Oh, we're back in the building. We are back in the building. Hold on. I need one more. I don't need a crazy good one. I need like a medium one. Just like an official one. No clutch. I'm about to punch my monitor if we get
We're going for it.
one more medium level one. Medium tryhard one. Sandspit? Do I need Sandstorm on this guy? Okay, salvaged. Actually salvaged. Rex did survive the helicopter crash. Salvageable. Let's see what moves it has. Please tell me they gave it some good moves in this. I need fake out minimum. That shit is legit minimum. Oh, it does learn hypnosis. Wait, hold on. We can give you hypnosis shenanigans. Hypnosis? I need fake out so badly, bro. I need fake out more
They need our help.
in my life ever. Where is fake out? There's no way they don't give this dog shit mod fake out. There's legit no way. There's just no way this mod doesn't get fake out. There's no way this guy doesn't get fucking fake out. I need tail slap or something then.
They need our help.
How does this clown not know fake out? Why is his best move slam? That's not even as good as return, I'm pretty sure. Oh no. Okay, here's what we can do. We can still make use of it. We're gonna make it an eject button pivoter. Because I come in, I fearmonger them, right? And then they hit me, I eject button out. And then I come back in, I fearmonger them again. And then once my eject button runs out, I U-turn. I can do shit like indoor. I can indoor eject button, right? T-Wave, Swords Dance, Dream Eater. Sucker Punch, we gotta give it Sucker Punch. Does it not even learn return? There's no way this guy doesn't learn return. Like, we're joking, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I'm here for it, buddy boy.
Learning fake out is crazy,
Bring it on.
Super Fang.
Why does he do so much? Dude, he just eliminated me after I knocked him out.
I think we give this
That's not fair.
HP, and then we'll tailor our defenses depending. I'm gonna split for now. It's really fast though. In this game, it's actually really fast on the bright side.
Why does he do so much? What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
197 is the same as what? 197 is the same as max. What the hell does this guy need speed for anyway, though? I don't even want speed. I want a slow U-turn. I don't want a fast U-turn, right?
Who wants the good one, doesn't it?
We're cooking. We're trying our best. We're cooking. Eject button. Usually, eject button is what we give to Mons that like don't really have a purpose, but it can at least take one hit.
Makes you offensive. Only use your power to actual side.
Go in there, scare them, and then eject out. But we do have hyper aggressive though, man. That's the thing. I wish I had fake out. That's the thing. If I had fake out, it would have been crazy. Rex coming in when I give him on the Car Guy 45. Thank you, Rex. Thank you. Congratulations, Car Guy 45. Actually, I should go Super Fang. I should go something else. Do I have anything that has a little bit of what?
Something like Undying.
Something with a little bit of like something that benefits from double hitting.
Undying.
What if I just cringe people out with bite? Wait, I might just cringe people out with bite. I have double bite flinch chance into para chance. It might actually be a bite angle.
Aerial expert and attack.
I want to outspeed base.
I want to fix my
Maybe I should outspeed base 100 max speed. What's base 100 max speed? 231. Damn, it's not easy to outspeed base 100. But the fact that it comes in and drops both stats is amazing. Okay, now I outspeed base 100. I have the eject button. I could bite people if I need. This thing could also low-key be assault vest. It would be a really.
I still think Bulwark is pretty good though. There's small piece of Bulwark.
Rex donated to reroll. Wait, Rex, did you donate to reroll? Usually we do only do donations for reroll.
Decrease damage social by.
Reroll if you would like, Rex. I'll honor the reroll. But I think this one could be playable though. The fearmonger super saved it.
You gotta try one more time.
I think that is whose ability is that, bro? That ability is crazy. Who naturally learns that ability? That crazy. Intimidate plus scare plus para chance for no reason. And hyper aggressive. Your call. I actually think this one's playable. I think this one's really, really playable. Alright, let's see if it has a sandstorm form now though. Alright, let's actually use Rex real quick. Let's see. There's so many people here. The only person I guarantee I have to fight is a girl. I'm just stupid, huh? Okay. Beautiful comes in. How many mons? Yes, 4 mons. Sly comes in. Fake out. Flinched it. It can't really kill me, so I'm gonna Drain Punch. Oh my god, it could definitely have killed me. What the fuck? Starmie comes out. Okay, here's where we put Rex to the test. Go! Rex! Sly is crazy. Sly is so crazy. Scare him. Wow. Okay. Bounce right back out. My boy Rex bouncing. Kicks up a sandstorm and bounces out. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I don't have cast form on me. Alright, now that we bounced out, we should outspeed with Ladash. I break its sash too if it had a sash. And I kill it with Dark Pulse. See? Hey, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Right? Nidoqueen comes out. What's Nidoqueen gonna do to me? Has Hustle? Wow, that's crazy in this game, Hustle. Has Queenly Majesty, Thick Fat, Hustle, Poison Point.
I use my special form.
Fire Superpower on me. Go Curly on the Superpower? No, it actually went Earthquake. Is this thing mixed? No, it's just physical. Okay, I reflect. Nice. Teleport out. Teleport out, and then look at this. We teleport into none other than Rex. Boom. Lower his shit again. Now, can he even kill me with Superpower? Now Superpower is a 3-hit KO. Okay. And then now we can start trying to cringe it down, right? Please. No. Please. No.
He missed his emotions.
Please. Okay, we got him. We got him. We put him to sleep. And now that he's asleep, asleep, I do double damage. So I'm gonna start biting him in his sleep. Okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna head out. Never mind. I'm gonna just head out. I'm gonna head out, and I think I'll just go back in the Fae. Eat the superpower. I'm getting poisoned by everyone. I have Opportunist, Priority Psychic now. He switches into Zangoose. I've never seen a trainer switch before. Okay. Well, I just get to Opportunist you again, don't I? He has Quick Attack Oko. You think he'll go for Quick Attack? I don't think he will.
It's all good charger.
He might. I gotta be safe in case he does. This turns off his Quick Attack, isn't it? Yeah, they have 4 abilities. Every mod has 4 abilities. And we're playing him with Randomizer to make it more fun, you know? So we have Random on as well, too. So we can get any abilities, basically. So the wackiest mons end up being good. He's gonna fire close combat here. I'm running out of options here, low-key. I'm running out of options, man. Close combat guarantee kills. Fuck, Steve turned off my priority again. Oh, this is not good. I should... Yeah, close combat is a guaranteed kill. I should go for static? No, I can't even static. He's poisoned. Fuck. Fuck, I can't even static. No, don't tell me I just fumbled Curly. No, it's too late tonight, guys. It's too late tonight. It's too late tonight, guys. It's too late tonight. Guys, it's too late in the night. It's too late in the night. It's too late in the night. I'm just fumbling. No, that... No. Wait, you're still alive?
Teleported on me.
Not for long. It's too late in the night. We gotta call it. It's too late in the night.
You bitch!
No. No, I can't actually fumble.
Nobody walks away from me when I'm
Curly
beating
is
ass.
so important. I can't fumble Curly.
I know I didn't.
We're probably gonna have to bring Curly back. We're probably gonna have to bring Curly back. Holy shit, the death box is ginormous. Let's bring in Thor. No, it's too late in the night, guys. I still have a headache, by the way. It's been fucking 5 hours. I still have a headache. Alright, let's do the gym tomorrow, guys. Oh, wait, I can't even...
I can't handle the workout. They need my help.
Let's save and call here for tonight, guys, alright? It's getting late. Ay. Thank you guys for all the support tonight, by the way, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate it, everyone. Big shout out to all the supporters tonight's stream. We got Hammy Sammy membering up. Zalora with the super chat. Zalora with the donation. Sly for the 15 months. Twab with some big donations. Thank you, Twab. Renato with a donation. Beezy with a donation. Earth9 with a donation. Chi member. VIP.
I ran out of time.
Memberships. Anyone else gift memberships today?
I was about to knock out. I ran out of time.
But yeah, that should be all the supports today, guys. Thank you guys all for supporting, guys. I really appreciate it. Tune in tomorrow where we're going to play some Honor of Kings, guys, alright? I'd really appreciate if you guys tuned in and supported. I haven't done a sponsor stream in a while, and I'm getting sponsored to do Honor of Kings, so I really want to show out for them. So tune in tomorrow if you guys can. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, everyone. Good night, everyone. Love you guys. Enjoy the music. Good night, Hammy, Flag Honor, Anthony, Heejin, Splat, Rex, Anthony, Hacked, Ufu. Good night, guys. I'll probably do a bit of Unite into Honor of Kings, but only a very little bit of Unite. But Unite is so hard to play, though, to be honest, man. Like, it's so hard to play that game and have fun, bro. Yeah. Alright, good night, guys.
Where are you going now? Where are you going now?
This night is cold in the kingdom. I can feel you fade away. marching to the bathroom sinking. Your steps keep me awake. Don't cut me down, throw me out, leave me here to waste. I once was a man with dignity and grace. Now I'm slipping through the cracks of your cold embrace. So please, please, could you find a way to let me down slowly? A little sympathy.
Oh, you a lot. Shall we go in? Sanji! You survived. Let's listen to a novel. It's late night a novel. It's more news.
Conversation. I said I deeply appreciated the support the U.S. has given Israel from the beginning of the war. But I also said something else.
For me, if he gets into office, and I hope that he does, because the truth reality is we have between two candidates to choose from, and obviously Trump is the candidate that people should be voting for. But to the extent that he's going to use the office to further Israel interests above America, I'm not going to be happy with that. His base is not going to be happy with that.
I said it's inconceivable that in the past few months, the administration has been withholding weapons and ammunition to Israel. Israel, America's closest ally, fighting for its life, fighting against Iran and our other common enemies.
What's going on, everybody? Today, we're going to talk about a few different stories if you stay tuned and stay with me. First one is Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, has made a video telling the Biden administration that he's really upset that they're withholding weapons, and he's essentially blaming Biden for why they can't finish the war with Palestine or Hamas. We're going to look at that clip and then react to it, and then we're going to listen to a clip of Candace Owens on Breaking Points with Sagar, talk about the donor money that Trump received, $100 million from pro-Israel Miriam Adelson, essentially as a, I'll give you this if you do this for Israel. And I thought Candace's response was interesting. Then at the end of the episode, you guys stay tuned, I have a really interesting breakdown that you probably won't see anywhere else of this guy who I believe was the leader of the House Freedom Caucus. His name was Bob Good. He's about to almost lose an election. It's 50-50. They might have to do a recount, but the reason that he's not just winning completely is because Trump endorsed the backer against him, or the I would say the opponent of him in that election. And I just wanted to read this interesting breakdown because I see a lot of pages. I don't follow every race in the House and the Senate, but the pages that I do follow that are pro-Trump and Republican, they're constantly posting like every other week. They're like, oh, darn it, Trump endorsed this guy who sucks. Oh, man, he endorsed the rhino. He endorsed this rhino. And I wanted to kind of open up into maybe why that's happening, because I think I have an interesting idea and breakdown. So I'm going to share it with you guys. Appreciate you. Give me a thumbs up in the comment section to let me know the audio is good. Give me a thumbs up for the algorithm on the Facebook, YouTube, or Rumble video. Dream Rare Podcast starts now.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles. Yeah.
What's going on? Charlie said, I was just thinking about you, Anomaly. Well,
Shit,
nice
kind
of
of
you.
Curry's here.
Someone else said, I'm tired of the Israel complaining. Don't worry, we're not going to be complaining today. But here's what I will say. Thank you for your opinion. We appreciate it here. Ukraine has gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from the United States of America. Israel has also, over the last couple of decades, gotten hundreds of billions of dollars. So, you know, I wouldn't necessarily call this a complaint at all, but more just an analysis of the situation. I'm not complaining. It's just real talk. That's what we're doing here. And Sue said, I can't believe I'm here for the beginning. Excited. Sorry, exclamation point. I see exclamation points, and I'm just calling them exciting points now. I just changed the name. There you go. Anyway, let's watch the video of Bibi Netanyahu. I saw this on Twitter, and he essentially said, you know, Biden, thanks for the money and everything. We appreciate it, sort of, but you're withholding weapons, and you're the reason that we can't finish off Hamas and really end this thing. So let's look at it. Let me know what you think in the comments before I tell you the whole story and what I think. Maybe I'll read a few. We'll see.
When Secretary Blinken was recently here in Israel, we had a candid conversation. I said I deeply appreciated the support the U.S. has given Israel from the beginning of the war. But I also said something else. I said it's inconceivable that in the past few months, The administration has been
Oh, no,
holding
I should've
weapons and ammunition to Israel. Israel, America's closest ally, fighting for its life, fighting against Iran and our other common enemies. Secretary Blinken assured me that the administration is working day and night to remove these bottlenecks. I certainly hope that's the case. It should be the case. During World War II, Churchill told the United States, give us the tools, we'll do the job. And I said, give us the tools and we'll finish the job a lot faster.
So that's what Bibi Netanyahu said. Give us the tools, give us the weapons, stop withholding weapons from Israel, United States, give us what we want, and we'll do what we need to do. Here's what I'll say real quick. I just want to show you a few news articles of stuff you may or may not know. First one is the response from the White House. Apparently, the White House says they don't know what Netanyahu's talking about, suggesting that they're not withholding weapons, I guess, or just being pretty vague about it. So they responded by saying, like, we don't know what he's talking about. Netanyahu apparently is going to address the United States Congress on the 24th of July. So he's going to fly to Washington, D.C. and probably, do his Zelensky impression in Congress. And this is just reminding people that we just a couple months ago gave them $26 billion in aid when we can't even get a couple $1 billion for our border and nobody seems to care about America. We gave them $26 billion just a few months ago, money that could have been used for a lot of things that wasn't. I'll just say this. I see the striking similarities. I know they're different wars, different people, different ideologies to some extent, I guess. I see that as like a very Zelensky move where it's like, give us more, you give us more, and then we'll finish the job. People that are sympathetic to Ukraine would say, no, Ukraine is different than Israel because we got to fight Putin. People sympathetic to Israel will say, well, no, it's different. They're our greatest ally, or they're the only democracy in the Middle East, or the Bible tells me that Armageddon only comes when we defend them, or a multitude of other things. And I know personally, I'm not going to read the comments just quite yet, but I've spoken to people in person and I have a wide array of friends and people I talk to. I know some people that, they really don't like the fact that Biden is not doing more for Israel. They want him to do more for Israel. And that's like their main talking point is like, we need to get Biden out of there so Trump could get in and give Israel everything they want. The other counter perspective, people like Candace Owens that I'm going to play a clip of, to be honest, people like myself that I can't say I share everything. Like me and Candace are different people, so I'm not going to, I say what I think and she says what she thinks, but I'm more of the thought process of like, Ukraine has the right to defend itself. Israel has the right to defend itself, but why is it that America is the world's piggy bank? Why is it that we give them $24 billion and then they turn around and basically scoff at our president and say, you're the reason that we can't really finish this thing, like give us what we want. And here's where things get a little interesting. I follow somebody on Twitter. It's a lovely woman. I'm not going to say the name because it doesn't matter and I don't feel like causing any sort of drama, but it's simply just for, conversations about thoughts. She tweeted something and was like, why, she's very pro-Israel, this girl that I followed. She said, why would Israel want to flood, or like, why would Israel want to flood the West with migrants? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they want Muslims to take over the West? Like, how does that benefit Israel? Like, that's ridiculous that you even think that that's happening. Here's the thing. I'm not going to say everybody wants to do that because it's not true, or every politician, but there was an op-ed written in the Wall Street Journal, which is a right-leaning publication in America, by a member of Netanyahu's party, where they said that Europe and America should take in the refugees from the Palestine war. They said, why don't you take in the refugees? You always do when we fight wars in the Middle East. You always take them in. Why do you not want these ones? So I'm just being honest. This girl's like, well, why would that's a crazy theory, and it's like it's literally not a theory; it's literal reality. So I guess I would say this as an American citizen: we just gave that country more money than we've given to our own border, which is wide open, while members of his party are writing op-eds in American newspapers telling us to take in their refugees. So this is my issue. I'm all for alliances. I'm all for having friends in the Middle East, and I think it's awesome, and I think a lot of Israelis are great people, and there's no hate at all, but it's like it feels like we're getting the short end of the stick, and in all these situations, whether it's Ukraine or Israel, it seems like the leader just come around and basically blame us for like we don't even get the money for ourselves, and we give you more money than we get for our own security in some senses. I mean, I know we have a military and such, but our border's wide open. You don't do very much, like he could come to America and in his speech, he could say, listen, America, you're crazy. Like if he was really our ally, he would go in front of Congress and say, America, you need to close your border. What the hell are you guys doing? I would never allow this in Israel. We couldn't allow this in Israel. We wouldn't be able to survive if we did this in Israel, and you will not be surviving for much longer if your border is this wide open. Is he going to do that? I don't know. Probably not. He'll probably just ask for money like Zelensky and basically shame everybody who doesn't want to do it, like the Biden administration, who's already super pro-Israel and giving them money. So I get there's going to be people who disagree with me and say we have to give them money, we have to give them the weapons, we have to give them that, we have to give them this. But it's like, when is the relationship going to be mutual in the sense of like, if we're going to give a country $26 billion and soon $46 billion, go for the last 50 years, they've got hundreds of billions of dollars. And conservative members in that country are going to write op-eds in our newspapers saying that we should take in the refugees that they just told us were Hamas terrorists, that they just told us were bad people, and they want us to take it. What does that say?
I can't believe I got to be
It's just like America is just like the world's like, I'm not going to say the word, but you know the word, where it's like, it's just like, give us your money, and the second you stop giving us your money, we're going to get pissed off, and we're going to blame you, and we're going to call you bad people, we're going to say you're pro-Russia, we're going to say you're anti-Semitic, we're going to say you're helping the other side, and it seems like American citizens are never really considered. So before I play the next
I
clip,
literally
that's
used
just
Gear
what I
4
wanted
and I
you to
got one
consider, and I
shot
think
it.
there's
Like I was
this
fighting
interview
Big
that I
Mom.
didn't include that I thought were interesting. And I'll just kind of summarize it real quick. But they were mentioning how Trump said that Israel has to like finish the job quickly because like people are not liking what they're doing, as if they're like losing the PR battle, which I think is true. And I think people that might disagree with me, they have to consider this eventually. Like, calling
I'm
people
supposed to
hateful
heal
all
when
the
I use
time
my full
for just
burst.
like saying what I just said, it's not working anymore. So I think even if you do want the money and you do want the weapons and you do think America should just like forever just
Good night,
dole
everyone.
money out to that country no matter what and never ask for anything in return or whatever,